everyone, welcome to the channel Dulce and Canela Adventures on Second Life. And I'm gonna invite you in and I'm gonna tell you a story. So, before I start, I would like some input. Do you like my stories? Should I do a couple more story times? Are there some more adventures you'd like to see on Second Life? Do you like my music videos? Let me know what you like, or if you have ideas, share them with me. And I'm always open for new ideas, fresh ideas. So, what I'm going to be talking about today is something dumb I did as a teenager. And, we all do it. Well, most of us do it. But, so in my senior year of high school, one of my friends, she was a year older than me, and she graduated and she was accepted at the local college, which happens to be one of the top 15 colleges in the world. But, with college life, there's always a little party going on here and there. And so she invites me to go over to a party with her. So I'm like, okay, okay, cool. We can go to a party. I'm excited and I get dressed for my party, or not my party, but the party. And I drive over there and, well, I picked her up and, we went there. And when we got there, we found out there was a fee to attend the party. And I didn't really want to pay it because I'm like, that's not right. So basically, I think it was like $5, and you would get a red cup and you could drink beer from this keg. And although at 18, I'm going to be honest, I have had a few beers, but I was always careful. Like, I didn't go to big parties and drink. I might have half a beer at home. And, my parents, they didn't mind me having a little bit. They just never wanted me to be drunk or anything like that. At my house, I guess, because my family, they're kind of southern, and alcohol is just a beverage to them, you know. And so I'm like, I'm not going to drink here. Someone might try to slip something. I might, well, I knew I wouldn't over drink, but I didn't feel comfortable with that. Why pay $5 for one cup of beer? So I'm just like, you know what? No, I'm not going to pay it. So I went outside. Well, somehow my friend paid for it and she got a glass of beer. And even though she was underage, but I guess, what's that when, if you do a crime years later, they can't arrest you after so many years. So, yeah, that was a long time ago. Over 10 years, maybe over 20. I'm not going to tell you exactly how many years it was. Anyway, so, the party was going on, and my friend and I are sitting outside. She's enjoying her beer, and we're the house is along one of the main roads, or it's the main road traveling east to west. Um, and so I look and I see this Crown Victoria going real slow down the road, and I'm like, that's odd. Why are they going so slow past this house? You know. So all of a sudden, I look up the road and I see like basically the whole police force coming down the road, and I'm like, and they didn't have no lights on, no sirens, but there was a bunch of them. The paddy wagon was with them. Like, oh my goodness. I was like, oh snap. And there was no other parties going on this street. And so I'm like, So I grabbed the beer out of my friend's hand and throw it in the bushes, and she gets onto me for wasting her beer. I said, no, we got to go. And I grab her hand. Well, thank goodness she didn't argue with me, right? She just was like, a little shocked, but she went with me. And I ran to the backyard of the house. This backyard was very manicured, very nice, and it had bushes in the very back, kind of like a wall. But there were a couple of gaps, and we were able to go through a couple of the gaps, or a gap in the bushes, and get into the alley. And once we got on the alley, we walked down the alley. She's like, And that's when I told her, I think that place is about to be raided. And I said, if I'm wrong, I'll pay you back. So we go through the alley and then we get on the sidewalk. And so we're on the sidewalk just, it just looks like we're pedestrians. And the whole police force like drops down on this house. They had everything but a helicopter. And they raided the house. There were people underage drinking and everything. And then my car was right in front of them. So I'm like, oh snap. How am I going to get to my car? So I told my friend, okay, this is what we're going to do. So they can't arrest us if we're not on that property. There's no proof that we were there. So we just start walking and we just looking like, what's going on here? And we make it to the car and they let me out and I drive on. And we were like, oh snap, we were almost caught up. So we just kind of hang out. I think we went to Denny's or something like that. Not Denny's. What did we have? We had Waffle House back. I don't know. Yeah, we had Waffle House. So we went to Waffle House and had a little coffee, a little late night breakfast, chit chatted, and then I dropped her off, and then I went home. And my dad was like, "Well, you're home awful early." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What happened?" I said, "Well, the party I was at was raided." He's like, "Oh." He's like, "How'd you get out of that?" I said, "Well, I saw him coming." And I told him what I did. And my dad started laughing. So he's like, girl, you slick. You as slick as your grandma. I sound like something your grandma would do. And so that's my story of how I was almost busted at a party. Although I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't drinking or nothing that night, you know. So, yep. So if you enjoyed my story, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down is fine too. My heart's not going to be broken if you didn't like it. But, if you did watch it all the way through, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. And again, if you have any suggestions for the channel, I appreciate it. you know. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.